Hello, my friends, relatives, and esteemed colleagues. I was just listening to a video elaborating how our natural immunity is much stronger or more versatile than immunity being achieved by doing jabs. And this goes back into baloney science that we are being told, and now we have institution, immunologists, experts that deal with this immune processes, how our body is immune. Now why? Because everything is based on germ theory. So now you have bacteria, you have fungus, or of course the non-existing virus, and they all have their structure, which then our immune system creates anti-structure. Okay, so this is the gen and antigen. And supposedly there is this antigen that is specific for every pathogen. So what happens is that when you take a jab, normally it is supposed to be done from weakened pathogen, and it will have now the proper gen or antigen. So your body can now get stimulated and form more of exactly these antigens. So this is how, when you get jabbed for particular problem, and this is why one jab doesn't work for other things. It's only strictly for this particular type of gen. Now, this means that every variation of every virus or every different bacteria now needs the body to produce different type of gen to fight this antigen. But if we are not jabbed, our body basically has universal gen that can fight basically any antigen, but not as effectively. Well, what about if I tell you that the whole freaking science is a big bullshit? And all these experts are so freaking misled that they are fishing for something that does not exist. Why I'm saying this? Because everything is about vibration. Again, if we start back orchestrating things, then we always go into trouble. Way too many variables. So why don't we structure them from the base up? Build them. So we go from frequency, vibration, brain conversion of this frequency that shows you what it is. Now, we know now that every symptom is a shift of frequency. If we take it into the three-dimensional field, then what happens? Something has changed. What usually changes? This is a robot. It's a programmable robot. If this gene, an antigen, would be really going on, then every bacteria in our body and every fungus in our body would have been attacked, because you do have this supposedly gens to fight the antigen. All the words are out. It doesn't matter which one is which, because it's all bullshit. This is not happening. They say that, you know, the antigen marks the gen, or gen marks the antigen, doesn't matter. So it basically goes and slaps itself on the bacteria. Well, we know that what does this job is GCMF. And we know that when we eat carbohydrates, we don't produce GCMF, because we have to produce nagalas. And this is why we get easily infected, because nothing is marked. So it has nothing to do with gen and antigen, because this gen and antigen is then blamed also to create inflammation, which is another bullshit. So obviously the whole freaking medical science is based on stupidity. No wonder doctors cannot figure out how to heal anything. Not even pimple they cannot heal. Okay? They can suppress it, they cannot heal it. So what is really happening? They say, yeah, don't get jabbed because your natural immunity is very weak. We don't have things that we need because we are on a wrong diet. The GCMF is crucial here. But again, ultimately, frequency, maintaining stable frequency is going to keep you healthy no matter what. And this depends on voltage. Nothing else. There's no freaking gen and antigen. They don't exist. And I can argue with anybody about it. So, what happens basically, why do some medicinal remedies make us more resistant to this shift? Because when we take them, our cells do not like them because they are wrong frequency. So our cells basically start producing heat proteins. They enforce, thicken their membranes, so the stuff doesn't come into the cell. If it doesn't come into the cell, it cannot harm the cell. We are being told, if you stay dirty, if you eat with dirty hands, your immune system is stronger. I repeat the same thing, but you know, brain gets tuned. As I explained, better wine you drink, brain gets more tuned to it. So then you cannot even smell the bad wine. If you listen to a high fidelity equipment, then any of the low fidelity stuff, it cringes you because you get highly tuned. If you listen to junk, then any improvement sounds so good that you cannot judge about the higher quality, which one is better. Well, when we go into science, when we go into particular direction, then the brain starts tuning itself and things start becoming clearer and clearer. So what is happening when we are dirty? Do we create antibodies? Is our immune system improving? Well, to me it is becoming more and more obvious that actually what is happening is the cell's membranes are getting denser. More we are exposed to garbage, more garbage comes into our body. It makes cells reacting and with heat proteins, stress proteins, and they densen their membranes. So the stuff doesn't come in. When this happens, of course, water absorption and cleansing, general flow, the passive cleansing is becoming more and more limited. But also the denser membrane, because of limited absorption, is not allowing other things to come in. And not only not allowing, but then if some more dirt comes in, some more toxic stuff, then from dense membrane it's much easier to make it a little denser. Then if you have your cells being in a clean environment, there is no need for dense cells. So basically the membranes are wide opened. And even the regular flow of water, of plasma comes in and goes out in bigger quantity and flushes the cell passively. It doesn't even have to do the active osmotic action. And as we are exposed to more and more dirt, the cell just produces more and more heat proteins, demands more and more cholesterol later on if it remains in this, because now it's genetic adjustment, and it starts making the membrane denser and denser and denser, and less stuff can come into our cells to pollute them. And not only this, these membranes also are in our intestines, and they are also in our skin, so less stuff comes in. And cannot even pollute you that much. So this is our natural defense. Has nothing to do with any freaking gen and antigen, and jabs are created exactly for that purpose. So if you already have a dense membranes and your absorption of toxins from your intestines or through the skin is now being limited, so it's difficult to poison you from the outside. So bingo, put it right back in there. And you avoid this protective shield. And this is the science of vaccine. Things are always completely opposite from anything we have been told. We are being lied through the nose. And too stupid to realize it. Why? Because our brains are being filled with nonsense, and we just don't have the power to disengage from this nonsense. And the higher recognized you are, the more you depend on your name and your title. And there is no way that you are going to try to debunk anything, because then your title will be debunked. But we have to forget about this. Nobody is more worthy than the other. We are all the same. We are just more egoistic. Some are more egoistic than others. We all love ourselves. Well, maybe not all, because if you love yourself, you will love others. If you don't, you won't love anybody. But main point is that this is how all the antibiotics works. Most of them, what is one of the most toxic things? Artificial pigment, artificial colors. And they put them everywhere in our food. Why? Well, basically to close your system, to close your cells. Because then you cannot function properly. You cannot even cleanse, you cannot hydrate. You have a problem with everything. And I have noticed that children that drink colorful sodas and drink and eat color-loaded carbs, the cereals, when they go and start raising plasma level of their body and go into cleanse, they start vomiting. This is how toxic this stuff is. And I had one kid vomiting for 1 week. Every day was vomiting after plasma when he started cleansing. And he is from family here that is well off, and they feed him garbage because he wants the garbage. And they think they are doing good because it's expensive cereal, Frankfurters, and expensive soda. Well, expensive soda. But doesn't drink water. Why to drink water if he has money to buy soda? And body gets so polluted. Most of the children, well, not most, I would say every child that has leukemia, that's the problem. And not only child, everybody who has any kind of a problem with the blood related to what we call blood cancer, look in that direction. And not only color, of course, but colors and chemicals. Green tea causes leukemia if drunk in high doses. So, has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with any gene antigen, gen antigen. Has nothing to do with any kind of immunity. Body protects itself and protects itself from everything, unless you put something directly bypassing the protective zone. The most concentrated protection is where comes contact from the outside, either being it on the skin, mucosal or mucosal tissue, because those are the two layers that protect us from outside. So, if the membranes become dense on the skin and in the intestines, less garbage will come in, but also will be more difficult to absorb the good stuff. And here it comes. There's your explanation. Some people can eat a lot, but they are staying skinny. Well, because they don't absorb well. Why not? Dense membrane. Because they are being poisoned from something. Find out what it is. Again, we are debunking this stupid medical science. It's really stupid. Thank you for being here. Love you. Till next time.